Imagine you're an early stage startup founder, scrambling at 2 a.m., staring at a bank account hovering at zero. You've built something you believe in, but revenue hasn't caught up. Payroll, product development, bills, everything piling up at once. In those stressful moments, a loan can look like a lifeline. You convince yourself, just one small loan, that's all we need to survive another 3 months. It's natural to think that way. About 38% of startups fail because of a lack of cash or failure to obtain financing. So a loan seems like a straightforward fix. Quick capital, no equity, diluted. Here's the question every founder must ask. Is that loan really the rescue it appears to be? In reality, loans can be a trap. They delay facing the real issues. Tell yourself you'll pay it back later, but time often slips and interest accumulates. As one startup advisor bluntly put it, a loan is almost never the best and or the only solution. The snowball is just going to get bigger. In other words, a loan might seem to fix the cash crunch now, but it doesn't fix the underlying problem. Debt, it just creates a new one. It's easy to convince yourself one loan won't hurt. That's the illusion of rescue. Loans carry hidden costs and burdens. They come due eventually, with interest and often strings attached.
Think twice when that quick cash feels like an easy answer, because the long-term consequences can be heavy.
Takeaway. Before reaching for a loan, pause and diagnose. Is this a momentary cash gap or a sign you need to tweak your strategy, product, or costs? So you got the loan. Now what? The short-term relief often masks a growing burden. And there's the hard cost. Interest and payments. Every loan has a fixed schedule. An extra few thousand in monthly payments is a clamp on your cash flow. And there are the conditions and complexity. Lenders often impose covenants, hit certain revenue targets, maintain specified cash reserves, or avoid other debts. Suddenly, you're not just an entrepreneur, you're also bound by someone else's checklist. Every decision, hiring, launching a new office, even doing a bit of R&D, has to be measured against those covenants. The emotional toll can be even heavier. Debt introduces constant pressure. A friendly chat with your co-founder turns into tense discussions about bank balances. You find yourself tracking cash like never before, worried about every invoice and payment. Many founders describe debt as a background panic that saps energy and creativity. Debt also changes how you lead. Owing money tends to make people tighten control. Maybe you start micromanaging budgets or delaying ambitious projects, stifle innovation and demoralize your team. Your employees sense tension. Meanwhile, creditors don't care about your vision. They care about payments. Operationally, loans can become a dead weight. More debt means more reporting. Miss a payment and lenders might seize assets or force a sale of the company. Let's look at some real examples. In the startup world, debt can end careers fast. Consider Bench, an accounting startup. Early 2025, its lenders abruptly called in the loan and Bench shut down immediately. The founders had been growing fast, but the debt was a sword hanging over them, insiders. A similar fate befell Divvy Homes. After borrowing roughly $735 million from banks, it was sold off in 2020 in a distressed deal that paid little to most insiders. Even a company that seemed strong on paper couldn't escape the aftermath of massive debt. Contrast that with founders who built success without heavy borrowing. MailChimp famously built up slowly and with zero outside funding and eventually reached about $400 million in annual revenue. Basecamp now earns tens of millions in profit, all bootstrapped. GitHub started in a garage on the founder's own money. Years later, it sold for $7.5 billion. These teams didn't have lenders breathing down their necks, just customers who grew organically due pattern. The underlying pattern. Successful bootstrapped companies often use a customer-funded model, where money from customers is to keep the business operating and eventually fund growth. This might mean doing consulting work, taking pre-orders, or monetizing early users. Always reinvest revenue, not borrowed money. No one brags about saving a failing business with a loan. The pride comes from building on your own terms, customer by customer. If loans are so risky, how do you grow? Good news. There are many founder-friendly paths to funding growth without heavy debt. Bootstrapping. Use your own resources. Work from home or a cheap co-working space. Handle multiple roles yourself instead of hiring early. The minimum viable product that solves a real customer problem. Keep only the expenses you absolutely need. Staying lean forces discipline. Customer-funded growth. Offer pre-sales or early bird discounts for your product. Secure multi-year contracts with deposit payments. Customers effectively become your investors. This not only raises cash, but also validates demand. Money from real customers beats borrowed money every time. Grants and contests. Many governments and organizations offer grants or R&D subsidies. Unlike a loan, a grant does not require repayment. Even a small grant or prize can buy months of runway. Startup competitions also provide cash or resources. Even if you don't win, visibility and advice are valuable. Service-first strategy. Offer a related service to fund your product. For example, consulting work can finance your tech product development. And crowdfunding and community. Platforms like Kickstarter, Indiegogo, or equity crowdfunding let you pre-sell your idea. Many successful SaaS founders started this way, doing service work first, then using profits to build the product gradually. Stay self-reliant. Embrace scrappiness and patience. Celebrate small wins and reinvest them in your company. Use every available resource, mentors, communities, partnerships, to stretch your runway without owing big. Keep your eye on the long game. A steadier, debt-free growth path often wins the race. At the end of the day, the best stories aren't about startups saved by a loan. They're about founders who built something they believed in, step by step, on their own terms. Keep your vision clear, your decisions prudent, and your focus on customers and product. When you reach success, it will truly be yours and yours alone.